Ladies and gentlemen, this is a 2024 Kia K5 GT line, and today I'm going to review this car for you. We're going to go over just what exactly is a Kia K5. We'll have a look at the styling, we'll have a look at the engine and the transmission, we'll measure out the cargo space in the trunk, we'll have a look at the passenger room, and we'll look at the convenience features and the safety features. And as always, if some of that sounds interesting and some of it sounds boring, check the description below for timestamps. So just what is a Kia K5? Well, the K5 is Kia's mid-size sedan. It used to be called the Altima back in the day, but a few years ago when they redesigned it, I guess they thought it needed maybe a sportier new name and a sportier new look, so it got both. The K5 competes primarily with the Honda Accord, the Nissan Altima, Toyota Camry, Subaru Legacy, and of course the Hyundai Sonata, with which it shares a platform and some engines and this sort of thing. It should be noted that some years back when Subaru redesigned the Legacy, they had an ad campaign about a beige sedan of some description, which was actually just a Kia Optima with the badges removed. So I think Kia did maybe do the right thing by redesigning the car, making it look sportier, and also by giving it a new name. It does kind of annoy me when manufacturers rename their vehicles, but somehow I do like the ring of K5 more than Optima. So I think it was a good call to redesign both the car and the name, and let's talk about the design on this vehicle. So we will move on to the styling on the Kia K5, and I do think it's a very good looking car. You have a very nice line to it. It almost looks like kind of a five-door hatchback thing. You can see that they were kind of sort of trying to make it look like a smaller version of the Kia Stinger. It is an actual trunk back there, not a hatchback, but the lines are very nice. I do really like the front daytime running lights in orange with the sort of swoopy look to them, and at night the rear taillight bar that's kind of segmented. I think that looks really great too. With the GT line, you do get the GT line body kit, so you have kind of the aggressive looking front bumper. You have the rocker panels on the side. You have the very nice 18-inch wheels, along with the gloss black mirror caps and the gloss black deck lid spoiler. All very nice touches. It should be noted that all-wheel drive is available on the K5, but if you want all-wheel drive, it has to be a GT line car, so it's going to look like this. But luckily, this is a very good looking car, so you should enjoy it, at least from a looks perspective. Now we'll take a look under the hood and talk about the engine and the transmission. All Kia K5s, except for the full-fat GT model, come with the same 1.6-liter turbo gasoline direct injection engine. It gives you 180 horsepower and 195 torque, and it is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. It is an excellent engine, very, very little turbo lag. You really have no idea that it is a turbo from within the cabin because you don't get the lag, and unfortunately you don't get any turbo sounds from it either, but the engine does an excellent job, gives you good acceleration. The transmission in this car is fantastic, really quick shifts, really smooth shifts. It almost feels like a dual clutch transmission, but it is just a traditional 8-speed torque converter automatic in this car. If you do want a true dual clutch transmission, if you move up to the K5 GT, not the GT line, but the GT, you get the larger 2.5-liter turbo engine with 290 horsepower, 311 torque, and an 8-speed dual clutch transmission in that car. I have driven that powertrain in a Hyundai Sonata N-Line, and it is very exciting for a mid-size sedan. Very quick, a lot of fun, but really you can't go wrong with either powertrain in the car. Both excellent engines, both excellent transmissions, but if you really want that extra performance, the full GT is probably worth the extra money. If going that fast isn't so important to you, any of the 1.6-liter turbo K5s will do just fine and get you better gas mileage. Now we're going to measure out the cargo area in the K5, so for that, we'll just push this button right here, open the trunk, get the laser measuring tape, and do just that. The length of the cargo area from the very back of the trunk to the bottom of the back seat with the back seat in place, 3 feet and 8 inches. The width of the trunk at its widest point in the rear of the trunk, a very wide 4 feet and 8 inches. The width of the trunk at its narrower point in between the rear wheel wells, 3 feet and 4 inches. The height of the interior of the trunk, 1 foot and 9 inch. And I'm going to pull down on this little handle right here to fold down the back seat so we can measure that. The length of the cargo area from the back of the trunk with the back seat folded down, approximately 6 feet 1 inch. I say approximately because that's the measurement to the back of that front seat, but it's in kind of a mid position right now, so we'll call it approximately 6 feet 1. It should be noted we definitely do not have a flat load floor. When you fold that back seat down, you really just kind of get an opening for a longer item that's not that big. So not the most useful cargo area there with the seat folded down. And if you need to lift something into the back of your Kia K5, you will need to lift it 2 feet and 6 inches off of the ground. And just for fun, let's have a look underneath here. We do get a spare tire with some tools in the little stowage area there. The microfiber cloths and cleaning bottle do not come standard. So that is the cargo area in a 2024 Kia K5 GT line. Now we're gonna have a look at the passenger room in this car, and for this measurement I use myself. I'm 6'5", so let's see if I can sit behind myself in a Kia K5. Okay, so as we can see here, if I get in, I have enough knee room here. I'm sitting upright, but I do have enough headroom. This particular car does not have a moonroof. I don't know if that would intrude or not. On modern cars, it usually doesn't make that much of a difference. But if I get in the back, it's actually quite a roomy car. For my standards, I have good knee room. I have just enough headroom. Very roomy in the back of the old K5 GT line. One thing that I will point out, no rear air vents on this car. That's a little bit of a glaring omission for this particular class, but we do have USB-A charging ports back here, so your backseat passengers can charge their devices even if they're not getting air conditioning in the Kia K5. Now we're going to move on to the interior and talk about the features in here, and the GT line is a very nicely equipped sedan. We do have a full 10.25-inch touchscreen with factory navigation included. You do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard, but it is not wireless. You still have to plug your phone in to make that work. You now get heated seats as standard. That is a newly standard feature for the 2024 models. Wireless phone charging is also standard, and I do like the little place that they put it. It's a nice little slot for your phone there. You have the combination cloth and Syntex seating trim. It is finished in red in this car, and it does look very nice. You have the flat bottom steering wheel on the GT line. That is a sporty touch as well. And one nice little thing that I like is remote start. That is included on the key. It's been pretty warm in the couple of days that I've had this car, so I have been utilizing the remote start before I get into it, just to get that air conditioner going first. It defaults to 72 degrees, the air conditioner system, when you use the remote start, but hey, it does cool the car down a little bit, and I suppose it would heat it up a little bit in the winter if you used it then. One other little complaint is a manual rear view mirror. It's not auto dimming in this car. I'm assuming you could probably get that as an accessory, but you still got to use the old school flippy tab in this one, just like my 84 Saab 900 sedan used to have. It should be noted this particular K5 is equipped with the GT line premium package. So for $800, what that gives us is the automatic emergency braking with the junction turning. So if you're making a left turn and the car thinks that another car is going to hit you in the middle of that turn, it'll warn you and hit the brakes to try to prevent that. That must be a big problem in Korea. You have the highway driving assist. That's kind of a fancier version of the adaptive cruise control, where it can maintain the speed limit and change the speed limit and do a few other things. I made a video how to use that. I'll put a link to it in the description. Quite honestly, it's not the greatest system in the world, but you do get the smart cruise control with stop and go included in the GT line premium package. That's not standard on the car. $800 to me is worth it simply because of that smart cruise control. I am a big fan of that system. And of course, we have the full LED projector headlights. So that is what you get in the GT line premium package. And moving on to the rest of the safety features, Kia calls the DriveWise technology. You have the automatic emergency braking with pedestrian detection, that's standard, as well as the blind spot monitoring system. That's the little orange lights that light up in the rear view mirror when there's a car in your blind spot. You have the rear cross traffic alert, so it'll beep at you when there is a car coming. You have the lane keeping and following assist, so you can hit the little steering wheel button on the steering wheel, and if it can read the lane lines or follow the car in front of you, it will sort of assist to keep you centered in the lane. And of course, you have high beam assist to turn on your high beams when there's nobody coming and dim them when there is somebody coming, and driver attention warning with lead vehicle departure warning, so it will remind you to wake up if you're falling asleep, and if you're sitting at a stoplight texting, it will remind you that the car in front of you moved forward so the guy behind you doesn't start honking at you when he stops texting first. Thank you so much for watching my review of this 2024 Kia K5. I do appreciate you watching my videos. Please give me a like and a subscribe and leave me a comment if you feel so inclined, and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.